a reporter and I was in the newsroom or in a courtroom. You saved my life because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and you were like, oh, I can help you out. So I appreciate that, even though I went to the dark side and I'm now in comms. But my question is, while you were doing crime reporting here, what were some of, or just any reporting here, what were some of the stories that have really impacted you, that you've taken with you? Maybe people's stories or people that you met. So I just want to hear more about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't really see super well.
This is Krista Belico.
Krista, hello. Hello. Well, so nice to hear from you, and I'm glad that I helped you in some way. You're always a whiz-bang reporter, so I'm not sure how I helped, but I'm glad if I did. There are so many stories from this city that stuck with me. I mean, I had a wonderful time here in Regina and so many opportunities. I think I, at the time, was the only court reporter / humor columnist, probably, in the country. Very little overlap between those two audiences. Two cases that, of course, one especially that comes to mind would be Tamara Kipnis, and, I know that's a story that touched everybody, I think, who worked on it, and of course, everyone in this city, really. I know it has been mentioned to me on several occasions just in the past couple days I've been here. The other case that I have thought about a lot was a series I did about a sexual predator named Darren Philpott, and that's a case I still think about a lot. But there were so many, so unless you all really do want to sit here all night, I'll tell you all the fun I had here in Regina. But yeah, thank you, and so good to see you. Hey.
Hi, how's it going?
Great.
I'm kind of here just for my own quarter. I'm not really here to support or anything.
Yep.
One of the questions I have is, it's the low standards that journalism seems to have now. And today, to be a journalist, almost anybody can be it. All you need is a camera, pretty face, the ability to speak and have an opinion, and all of a sudden you're constituting a journalist. And my question really is what is, in your opinion, a journalist? That's one part of the question. And the second part is why doesn't journalism have a professional association or a governing body that actually ensures that standards are kept and that there is a code of conduct and journalistic accreditation? Because I look at stuff like the Rebel Media, and I have mixed reviews on how they kind of deal with stuff like journalism.
Yeah. Those are very good questions, and they're questions that actually don't have a simple answer from me or even from anybody. We sometimes see this question of who is a journalist come up when someone is seeking accreditation to, say, cover, the ledge, and the officials are looking at whether this person should be granted access or not, and what makes someone a journalist or not a journalist, and there's a lot of opinions about that, and I don't think any easy answers. And in terms of sort of a professional standards, that's also been an issue that's been raised a lot in the history of journalism. Should there be a code of conduct? There is not one across the profession, but there certainly are in different organizations. The Globe and Mail, for instance, my employer, does have a code of conduct that you sign. You're expected to adhere to. Usually at the bottom of the page of a story, it actually will say something about this journalist adheres to our code of conduct, read more. And if someone has an issue where they believe the journalist hasn't adhered to that, we have a public editor, and a public editor is a really powerful, I think, thing to have in a newsroom. She is unbiased, and sometimes she takes the person who's making the complaint side. She doesn't always side with the reporter or the decision that was made by the paper. So there is nothing across the entire profession, but I think legitimate news organizations really do recognize that there need to be standards, and many of them do have a written policy somewhere. But yeah, these are complex. I could probably.
I could imagine. Like I just kind of look at it like I can't practice law unless I'm a member of the Law Society. I can't be a doctor unless I'm a member of the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Why doesn't journalism have that? It seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, you're not the first person to bring that up. That's for sure a conversation that has been had. It might be that journalists don't like being told what to do, and we can't all get along enough to, come up with a document. That's always the joke about journalism conspiracies, theories, is that, none of us can really get along or communicate with each other well enough to come up with something standard. But I think certainly having at least individual policies at news outlets, so there is that accountability, is a really important first step. And I don't think that that's an unreasonable thing to think about what those professional standards could look like more broadly.
Okay.
Yeah, great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?